My tablecloth's going all over the place here. So, we're back with this, guys. We're back with this. So, today we are going to do biopics you love. I don't even know who that is. American Splendor, Harvey Pekar. I'm assuming he's a American football player, which means I have no idea. So, we're going to have a go. So, some of these may not be... these are all biopics based on an actual person. Some of them may have fabricated bits in it, but the crux of the story is true. Right, get that out of the way. I have included some special mentions at the bottom of here, and I have got 10. They're not in any order because it's really hard sometimes to think of biopics, or to think of any bloody list, to be honest with you. So, my special mentions are Braveheart, which is one of my favourite movies, but I'm very much aware that a lot of it, obviously William Wallace, the crux of the story is true, but a lot of the ins and outs of it are historically incorrect, so I couldn't really include it in my top 10. Oppenheimer, really interesting movie. It just doesn't crack my top 10. It is fabulously made. Boys Don't Cry would definitely have been high on my top 10, obviously starring Hilary Swank as Brandon Tina, who was a trans male who, I don't know if you've seen this. If you have not seen Boys Don't Cry with Hilary Swank, oh my god, do yourself a favour, this is amazing. And it follows this young trans man and his sort of relationships, his experiences, and this is going back to a time, now it's not that old of a movie, but very much it's more in the public eye now. People are more aware now. Back when this was made, this wasn't really a public discussion. It was a very brave and interesting film, and you can't watch this. It really, really desperately upset me when I saw this movie. Just the whole situation and what he went through, it was just shocking. But it is a true story. There are aspects in here which have been fabricated, but the crux of the story and what happened is true. I didn't put it in my top 10 for the reason that it's, it's a lot of it is fabricated. 127 Hours is in there. This is right up my street. This is the story of, and I've forgotten the guy's name, apologies. He hikes and stuff, and he's out in the middle of the desert on his own, hasn't told people where he is. He has a fall. He falls down between two rocks and he gets his arm jammed in between a rock, and he's stuck there for days and he thinks he's going to die. I love this movie. I put it lower down because I feel the subject matter in the ones I've put higher are more emotionally impacting for me, but I love 127 Hours. Bohemian Rhapsody is in there. You're thinking, Lisa, Bohemian Rhapsody, with you being a massive Queen fan, isn't in your top 5? No, it's not. I love Bohemian Rhapsody. The order of things is very much messed up. When things happened, things like Freddie's diagnosis, when it was made public, when the bandmates were told, a lot of that is not in order. The order they've put it in is much more impactful for the Live Aid performance. But don't get me wrong, I think Rami Malek was amazing. I think everyone was beautifully cast in this. And what I love about this movie is it really puts across to people, I feel, how lonely Freddie was, how used he was by particular people in his life, how much he craved what his bandmates had, but with his sexuality, he couldn't have what they had at that time. Even being out as a gay man at that time was frowned upon, which is fucking ridiculous. But I feel they really got across that sense of loneliness, and I feel it's a lot to do with why he is so close and was his whole life with Mary Austin. It was just someone he could turn to, but in saying that, obviously she got married, she had children, she had her own life, and Freddie never had that. And for that reason, people were able to manipulate him, his loneliness, his lifestyle, and just some decisions he made and perhaps weren't the best for him going forward. But I'm talking about my special mentions. I shouldn't be doing that. Let's not talk about it. But yeah, I love Bohemian Rhapsody, but the weird order that they put things in made me not put it in the top 10. So number 10 I've got is Monster, the story of Aileen Wuornos, the woman who was she on death? I think she was on death row for murder. So this was implicitly played by Charlize Theron, complete and utter physical transformation that she made to play this character. Being a massive true crime fan, I know the story of Aileen Wuornos inside out. I actually quite empathise with her, sympathise with her, to be honest. I think empathy is the wrong word unless I'm going out killing people. I do understand how Aileen Wuornos got to where she was with life, with things that happened, with abuse and attacks that she suffered, and her spree started with self-defense. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're attacked by someone, do what you need to do to get them off. I fully support that, but obviously it went a little bit further with Aileen Wuornos. But yeah, I feel this was really well portrayed. It portrayed her, it's called Monster, but it portrayed her as a human. It portrayed what led up to it, what her state of mind was, why she did what she did, and you can really see her as being a victim of society and circumstance, and just her life and what happened to her was just really fucking miserable, and it drove her to what she did. So I'm not condoning murder, folks, but I get it. It really touched me, this movie. So Monster is number 10. Number 9 is The Theory of Everything, which is the story of Stephen Hawking. Now, I've got quite a controversial viewpoint on this movie. I think it's brilliant. I think the performances in it are outstanding. I also think Stephen Hawking is a bit of a wanker. Very intelligent man, very much admired by an awful lot of people, but for me in this movie, how he treated his wife came across to me as absolutely abysmal. He just, I don't know, he just came across as a bit of a wanker, and I never thought I'd say that, but I have to, because like everyone else, I didn't know loads about Stephen Hawking other than how immensely intelligent he was and, you know, his work, nothing about his personal life. And you sort of saw this man that had overcome adversity to be one of the biggest brains in the world. But when you got a look underneath, and this is what the film does so implicitly well, to the man, to the person, you get to see all these flaws. And just how he treated his wife to me was, it maddened me watching this. And I came away like, oh my God, Stephen Hawking's a wanker. There you go. Maybe a bit of a controversial opinion that might offend some people, but that was my takeaway. But Eddie Redmayne in this, absolutely brilliant. I felt he was sublime in this movie. Number 8 is a slightly lesser known one called The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. This is quite a slow movie, quite an almost surreal type movie, which is a weird thing for me to say because I'm not into arty-farty at all. So this is, I have to look at the name because my memory is shocking. This follows the true story of Elle editor, Elle's a magazine, Jean-Dominique Bauby. So he became paralysed after a stroke. This movie is all told from first person perspective. There is a lot of over narration, which is something I love, I always have loved. We have it in Shawshank, we had it in like, what was that series with Fred Savage years ago? You know the one I mean, where he would talk over the top. I love that. I don't know why. I like over narration. This is full of it. It's full of what he's saying, what he's imagining, his life, his flashbacks, because he's got this locked in syndrome, and he can't move. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful film. It's unlike anything I've seen. And for me to watch something that is maybe considered a bit arty-farty and love it, that's not my cup of tea generally, but I absolutely love this movie. So The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, if you haven't seen it, I urge you to check it out and let me know what you think. So number 7, this is one of the hardest films I've ever watched, is Hotel Rwanda. I'm sure we all know about what happened in Rwanda and the genocide. This follows a hotel owner, his name, oh Jesus, I apologize in advance, Paul Rusesabagina. That's probably completely wrong. Now he's played by Don Cheadle and he is a Hutu, and he agrees, there's the Tutsi and the Hutu. Let me get, is that right? Yes. He agrees to take over 1,000 people into his hotel to protect them from the genocide that's happening at the time. This movie is rough. This movie is bloody. This movie is... I'm a massive horror fan and I love nothing more than blood and gore, but seeing this kind of situation where it's real and it's so realistic. I don't want to see it. I'm watching it and it's so upsetting to me and I'm turning away. I never turn away from a good effect in horror. In this kind of situation, it was the same. The beach scene in Saving Private Ryan, same thing. The thought of what's happening to these poor people and how fast it's happening. In this, what's happening to these people and kids, and it's heartbreaking. But in that whole situation, they just take one little part out, which is this man. He takes these people in and he saves them. Another good one, The Last King of Scotland, which I haven't got on here, but again, that all plays into this whole situation too. Okay, number 6 is Gorillas in the Mist, the story of Dian Fossey, played amazingly by Sigourney Weaver. I saw this as a kid years and years ago. I'm a massive animal fan, pretty much any animal. She's studying these gorillas. She has an affinity with them. It's just beautiful. It's a gorgeous, beautiful movie, and what Dian Fossey was trying to do, what she was trying to protect, I have all the time in the world for. It's an amazing movie. It's a beautiful movie. If you haven't seen Gorillas in the Mist, give it a check out. The next one, number 5, is Hacksaw Ridge. Another movie that, fabulous war movie, difficult watch for me in places. I find watching anything graphic that I know to be true difficult. So this follows a World War II medic by the name of Desmond Doss. So it's the Battle of Okinawa. He actually was what's called it's not protester, what's the word? He is a person that disagrees vehemently with war, but he is a medic in the war. He was the first man to ever receive a Medal of Honor who never killed a person, who never raised a gun. And this tells his story. He doesn't agree with war, but he's there and he's helping his fellow soldiers. And when you see the things this guy did, absolutely amazing individual, fantastic movie, gripping, raw, beautiful, difficult. I'm very much on his side when it comes to war. I sometimes it's a necessity, like when we go back to the Holocaust, but for the most part, war just, I don't know, anything to avoid it. I think people turn to it too readily in these days, but this guy is just a real hero. Yeah, so Hacksaw Ridge if you haven't seen it. Number 4 is not lesser known, but probably a lesser watched one, who I urge anyone that hasn't seen this to see it. It's called My Left Foot. It stars Daniel Day-Lewis as Christy Brown. Christy Brown grew up in a very poor Irish family. He has cerebral palsy. The only limb that he really had that worked properly was his left foot. Because he was so poor, he wasn't getting the things for his disability that you would get now, that people with money would get. He was basically just left, leave him alone. It follows his life as a child. His brothers and sisters, they're out playing football and he can't take part. Then they find a way for him to take part. It's just joyful. His life is so difficult. It's full of so much hardship, but he manages to find joy. He's so intelligent. He is so funny. This is all a true story. I won't tell you what happens and where the movie goes because I want to leave that to you, but you know, it's about family. It's about his relationship with his parents. It's about just people he meets in life. It's about challenging people's expectations of what you can do. It's about challenging viewpoints of people with a disability. My mum has multiple sclerosis, has done for 47 years. She is very profoundly disabled. But a lot of people make the mistake, if you're in a wheelchair and you have very limited mobility, that there's something wrong with your head. And it's very much not the thing to think. And Christy Brown proves that. And this is just, for me, a beautiful movie. It's one that's very important for disabled people to actually show people. Don't make these assumptions. Look at what this person's capable of. Look at what this person's done. This person is your equal. They may be different, but they're your equal, and in a lot of cases, better than equal. So I can't big up My Left Foot enough. It's an Irish movie also, so obviously I'm going to love it, about an Irish character with an Irish actor. So My Left Foot, fantastic. So number 3 is my favourite music biopic, Walk the Line, about Johnny Cash. I just feel this is the most realistic music biopic I've seen. I've seen quite a few, including Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocketman, just loads of different ones. This one was a warts and all. This one showed Johnny Cash for the arsehole that he was for a lot of his life, and would admit in later life, when he released the cover of the Nine Inch Nails song Hurt. If you haven't heard Hurt as sung by Johnny Cash, Jesus Christ, it's like the song was written for him. And Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails admitted he does this song so much better than I did, and he wrote it. But it's a song about like drug abuse. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. It's about how he treated people over the years, how he's an older man now, and he's looking back on his youth and decisions, and it's beautiful. But that film, the reason I bring up the song is because that film very much has the same message. It shows the progression from young man right the way through. It shows decisions he made that as an older man he very much regretted, things he did. I just feel it's a beautiful biopic. It's got fantastic songs in it. Everyone loves some Johnny Cash stuff. He's very much liked in this household. Maybe not perhaps everything he did in his life, but his music very much. I just feel it's a fantastic, if you want to watch a music biopic, this one's the one to go for, I feel. Walk the line. So number 1 and number 2 just left. Number 2 is The Pianist with the absolutely amazing, beautiful Adrian Brody. We're going to have a go at this. This is about Polish musician Władysław? W-L-A-D. Is that Vlad? It's not Vlad. I'm going to say Władysław. He follows a radio pianist. He plays piano for the radio. And this is about the war. It's about him getting separated from his family. It's about him trying to survive. He's Jewish, and it's about him encountering a German officer. I don't want to tell you anything that happens, but this movie is wonderful. The acting, my son was actually shown this in school for history. Their history teacher, he does tell them what's accurate and what isn't, but he shows them some amazing movies. He showed them Saving Private Ryan, bits of it. He showed them, what was the one? The war one with the year, was it 19? I can't remember. But these movies have actually got my son an interest in history, and he has now chosen history as one of his GCSE subjects because the movies has opened that to him. It's not just a textbook. This teacher's fantastic. He does educate them as to what happened and what didn't, but he wants to show them an example of a person. This guy actually existed, and sort of like make it interesting to kids. And this is one of my favourite films. I adore The Pianist. Adrian Brody, to me, can do no wrong. I love him. But to me, this is his best performance. Absolutely fantastic. So obviously you may have to have a bit of an interest in the war, in situations that were happening at that time. Brilliant movie if you like that kind of thing. So one's left, guys. There can only be one favourite biopic, and for me it is The Elephant Man. The story about John Merrick. His name almost escaped me. What the hell is going on with me? Played absolutely implicitly. Apparently it's being remade with the guy from Stranger Things that plays the photographer, whose name I always forget. The one that was dating Nancy. I don't know how I feel about that, because the movie's not that. It's in black and white, but it's not an old movie. It's amazing. Why are we remaking it? It makes no sense to me. But The Elephant Man, oh God, like my left foot, it teaches you not to assume and not to pigeonhole and not to limit people because of a physical disability, or, you know, it's... John Merrick was so beautiful of a human being, so smart, so funny, so artistic, so creative. The part where he builds is it a church or a cathedral with matchsticks? Absolutely wonderful film. I could cry thinking about it. Right, we had to have a little cut there in case I started fiffing. Very little gets to me in life. This is weird. I am not a crier. I don't cry at normal life stuff. I push through, see films. I think that's my outlet. But his character and how this movie ends is just fucking heartbreaking. The character of John Merrick is just... There's certain people in history that's like, oh my God, I wish I'd known that person. And he, 100%, I just think he is such a multifaceted, wonderful human being. and how he's treated in this movie is abhorrent. And then he gets a chance to be treated differently by different people, and it's beautiful to see. And then we get to see his capabilities, his intelligence, his creativity, his humor. We get to see all of that. And then we have the ending, which let's not talk about. But The Elephant Man to me it's as close to a perfect movie as you're going to get. I absolutely adore it. John from Mondo Chelovic Movies has got a DVD. Is it for? I don't know, but it opens up and it's got the the thing he built with the matchsticks, the big church. And it's, oh my god, it's like if ever there was a holy grail item, that is it. It is beautiful. But I have a copy. As long as I can see it, I'm happy. But yeah, there's loads of birdies flying. I think they're telling me they've eaten all their stuff. No, I can still see fat balls there yet. Don't be greedy. Get them finished first. We have a feeder full of seed, a feeder full of fat balls, and a feeder full of worms. I love the way Scottish people say worms. Worms! Yeah, little like dried worms that they like to eat. So, thank you for watching, guys. That is my favourite biopics. Feel free, as always, to follow along if you would wish to do these. But it's a bit of a waffly one. I've talked for too long, but I thought, you know what? Let's just have a bit of a chat because it's been a while. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know some of your thoughts below. What did you think of some of mine? Let me know if there are some massive biopics that I haven't actually seen. I haven't seen Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis, which is one I really want to see. There's ones that I keep seeing coming up on best biopics. I'm like, I haven't seen that, I haven't seen this. So there probably are some glaring omissions that I haven't seen. But hopefully there may be one or two in there you maybe haven't seen that you could check out. Let me know below in the comments your thoughts. And until next time, over and out from Lisa Loves.